Mary, a hairstylist, is experiencing peri-umbilical pain, feeling feverish and nauseated while at work. She was rushed to the hospital as the pain is becoming intense at the right lower quadrant of the abdomen. She was advised by the ER physician to be admitted for further workup. Number 1. Nurse Ella admitted the patient and started to do her assessment. What sign is elicited by the nurse when a deep palpation of the left iliac fossa is done and causes pain on the right iliac fossa of the patient? Okay, so ang tanong dito sa number 1 natin, the nurse palpates the left lower quadrant of the patient, di ba? Kasi pag sinabi natin iliac fossa, that is the lower quadrant. So if the nurse palpates the left lower quadrant of the abdomen, the patient felt pain at the right lower quadrant or at the right iliac fossa. So what do you call to this sign of appendicitis? Kasi appendicitis na po ito kasi meron siyang peri-umbilical pain tapos nag-graduate siya sa right lower quadrant. So always remember, nurses, that the first and earliest sign of appendicitis is the presence of peri-umbilical pain radiating to the right lower quadrant. So pag nakita mo yan, you must suspect appendicitis. Nagsisimula siya sa umbilical area yung pain tapos magra-radiate po siya sa ating right lower quadrant. So that is the earliest sign of appendicitis. Yan. So, anong tawag natin sa sign na yon? Okay, keyword in your board exam, kapag nakita mo yung obturator, dapat may rotation. May rotation kang mababasa sa ginawa ng nurse. Sa Blumberg sign naman, dapat meron siyang ginawang deep palpation. Meron siyang ginawang deep palpation. Okay, tapos nag-cause ng rebound tenderness. Yan. So kapag meron tayong rebound tenderness, that is your Blumberg naman. Okay, so tandaan nyo na. So dito sa dalawa, SOA sign ba to or Rovsing sign? Rovsing sign or SOA sign? Ano sagot natin? It is your Rovsing sign. The correct answer here is letter D. This is your Rovsing sign of appendicitis. Kapag pinalpate mo yung left, ang sasakit ay yung right. There's a right lower quadrant pain upon palpating the left lower quadrant. So the problem of your patient here in situation number 1 is appendicitis. Appendicitis is the inflammation of the appendix. So pag sinabi natin appendix, that is located in the ileocecal junction of your small and large intestines. So ang key function daw po niya is to produce and store your good bacteria or microbes in human guts. It is rich also in lymphoid tissue, which is playing a key role in our immune response. Yung appendix ay nagkakaroon ng inflammation kapag nagkaroon po dyan ng fecal lip obstruction. What are the signs and symptoms of your appendicitis? Number 1, we have your fever. It's a low-grade fever. Yan, low-grade fever. Next, right lower quadrant pain with rebound tenderness. A pain is starting from the peri-umbilical area that is radiating to your right lower quadrant or at the McBurney's point kung tawagin natin. Pag nagra-radiate po yung pain from your umbilical area to your McBurney's point, ang tawag doon ay appendicitis. So example, sabi dito sa question dito, what is the typical pain presentation of client with appendicitis? Ang sagot natin, a pain that will start around the umbilicus that moves to the right lower quadrant of the abdomen. That is the classic sign of your appendicitis. That is the earliest sign of appendicitis. Peri-umbilical pain radiating to the right lower quadrant is the earliest sign of appendicitis. May nausea and vomiting din po ba ang appendicitis? Yes, yan. Again, so what are the causes of appendicitis? Number 1 is the fecalit. Number 2, enlarged lymph nodes. So sabi natin kanina, appendix is rich in lymphoid tissue. Ang appendix ay maraming lymphoid tissue. So alam naman natin ano bang function ng lymph nodes? Lymph nodes will fight off infectious agent, di ba? So kapag meron silang natrap na mga infectious agent or infectious microorganism, ang mangyayari diyan, mamamaga yung lymph nodes mo sa appendix mo. At pag namaga yung lymph node sa appendix mo, that is also termed as appendicitis. Yan. Ano pa? Mga cecal disorders or disorders which is present in your first part of your large intestine. Kapag meron pong infection or inflammation sa inyong cecum, it will also inflame your appendix. Then, appendicitis is also linked to your abnormal anatomy and low fiber diet. Kasi kapag hindi ka pala kain ng mga gulay or mga fibrous foods, pwede pong magkaroon ng fecal impaction dun sa appendix mo. Baka magkaroon po dun ng fecalite impaction or fecalite obstruction. So, kailangan kumain ng high fiber to prevent your appendicitis. Next, so in appendicitis, we have your different signs, okay, to assess presence of appendicitis. Number 1 is the obturator. Pag sinabi kong obturator, keyword nyo, rotation. Rotator. Parang ganun yun. Obturator is your rotator. Yan. So, kailangan para ma-stimulate natin or ma-assess natin yung appendicitis for obturator sign, the nurse will what? Flex the hip of your patient in 90 degrees and it will rotate the patient hip internally. So, yun yung keyword natin. So, ang keyword natin dyan is the rotation of the hips. The internal rotation of the hips is the obturator sign. Okay po? So, bakit po nagkakaroon siya ng pain? Pain is felt in the lower abdomen or pelvis because it irritates the obturator internus muscle, which can be a sign of appendicitis or pelvic abscess po. So, ang keyword number 1 natin, pag sinabing obturator, nurse or the doctor will flex the hip of your patient to 90 degree and it will rotate it internally. Lumabas na ito sa board exam, yung physician daw, ni-rotate daw niya yung hips ng pasyente internally. Anong sagot daw natin doon? Obturator. Next, psoas sign. Kung sa obturator ay hip rotation, dito naman sa psoas sign natin, it is your hip flexion. Okay? Hip flexion naman po ito. So, psoas sign is the patient will ask to raise the right leg. Yan, right leg. And pressure will apply to the right thigh as the patient attempts to raise it. So, there will be a pain in the psoas muscle that will reflect appendicitis. So, ito po ay yung isang kamay ni nurse, nakapatong siya sa hita ni patient habang hinihila pataas yung kanyang paa. So, kapag sumakit yung kanyang psoas muscle, yan. Pag sumakit yung psoas muscle niya, that is a sign of your appendicitis. Next, ano naman yung Blumberg sign? Yung Blumberg sign naman, that is the bouncing pain. Okay, bouncing pain or rebound tenderness. Ang gagawin ng doktor dito, the doctor will what? The doctor or the physician will apply a direct pressure to the right lower quadrant of the abdomen. Then, there will be a sudden relief of pain. Saka niyo po? Pag pinisil ng doktor yung right lower quadrant ni patient, mawawala yung pain na nararamdaman niya. Pag binitawan na po niya yung kanyang kamay, doon nararamdaman ni patient yung right lower quadrant pain. That is your Blumberg sign naman. Okay, ulitin ko. Ang psoas sign, hip flexion. Hip flexion po yun. Ang ating Blumberg sign, rebound tenderness. Pag sinabi pong rebound tenderness, there's a bouncing pain. Upon palpation of the physician to the right lower quadrant, patient will not feel the pain. But if the physician withdraws the palpation, patient will feel the pain. That is your rebound tenderness. Pinisil niya, nawala yung pain. Binitawan niya, sumakit yung kanyang right lower abdomen. Tawag doon, Blumberg. Blumberg. Pinisil, nawala yung pain, binitawan niya, sumakit yung right lower quadrant. Tawag doon ay Blumberg sign. Okay, so number 4, yung ating sagot kanina, Rovsing sign. Okay, Rovsing sign. Dito naman sa Rovsing sign natin, the physician or the nurse will palpate the left lower quadrant. Okay, left lower quadrant, but the pain will be felt at the right lower quadrant. So papalpate niya yung left lower quadrant, pero yung mananakit po ay yung right lower quadrant. Hindi niya directly ipapalpate yung right lower quadrant, ha? Kasi if the nurse or physician palpates the right lower quadrant, that is your rebound tenderness or Blumberg. So, opposite ito ng Blumberg. Si Blumberg, pipindutin mo yung mismong right lower quadrant ni patient. Pero mawawala yung sakit. Pag binitawan, sasakit ulit siya. Sa Rovsing po, opposite side ang ipapalpate ng physician. The physician or the nurse will palpate the left lower quadrant and the pain will be felt by the patient at the right lower quadrant. Ang tawag natin doon ay Rovsing. There is a right lower quadrant pain upon palpating your left lower quadrant. Okay? So are we clear with your 4 signs of appendicitis? Nakuha po ba yung 4 na signs ng appendicitis? Kasi sa board exam, situational naman po yan. Again, ni-rotate daw ng physician yung hips ng patient internally. Hip rotation internally, sumakit yung right lower quadrant. Anong sagot? Hips, hip internal rotation, obturator. Yan. Okay, the nurse flex the hip of your patient while applying pressure or pressure into the thigh. Psoas. Yan. The physician or the nurse palpates the right lower quadrant and patient feels pain upon withdrawal of your hands. Upon removal of the hands, the patient feel the pain. Tawag doon, Blumberg. How about the nurse or the physician palpates the left lower quadrant but the pain is felt in the right lower quadrant? But pain is felt in the right lower quadrant. Tawag doon, Rovsing sign. Okay, naintindihan po ba? So those are the 4 signs of appendicitis. So wag niyo kalimutan yun kasi napakalaking tulong yan. Lumabas na po yung dalawa dyan sa board exam. Si obturator at saka si Rovsing, lumabas na po yan sa actual board exam. To summarize our 4 signs of your appendicitis via physical examination, we have your obturator sign. Obturator sign is the internal rotation of the hips. Psoas sign is hip flexion against resistance. Blumberg sign is the rebound tenderness. And Rovsing sign, left-sided palpation causes right-sided pain. So that is the summary of your 4 signs in appendicitis. Okay, diagnostic mnemonics, ACT mnemonics. For diagnosing of your appendicitis, we have your ACT mnemonics. Letter A, we have your direct observation or physical assessment. Under your physical assessment, ang pinaka-diagnostic sign po ng appendicitis ay peri-umbilical pain that will radiate to the right lower quadrant. That is your clinical sign of appendicitis. Doon natin unang malalaman na baka may appendicitis yung pasyente. So there is a peri-umbilical pain that radiates to the right lower quadrant. Okay? Next, ano pa? Anorexia or the loss of appetite with nausea and vomiting. Sign din po yun ng appendicitis. Is there fever in appendicitis? Is there a fever in appendicitis? Yes or no? Is there a fever in appendicitis? Yes, meron. High grade or low grade only? High grade or low grade only? Low grade only. Very good po. Low grade fever, anorexia, nausea and vomiting, and presence of abdominal pain. Saan nag-start yung abdominal pain po niya? It starts in the peri-umbilical area, radiating to the right lower quadrant of the abdomen. Yun. How about your diagnostic procedures? Number 1 na ginagamit natin to suspect appendicitis is your CBC. Complete blood count. Check for leukocytosis. Pag sinabing leukocytosis, what is that medical term? That medical term indicates the increase in number of your white blood cell. When there is an increase in WBC, especially your neutrophil count, that is an indicative sign of inflammation. Again, what WBC will be increased in appendicitis? It's the neutrophils WBC. Aside sa neutrophils, Ano pa yung ating indicator na meron siyang appendicitis or inflammation of the appendix? Aside sa ating increased neutrophils or increased WBC, there will be also an elevation of C-reactive protein. Tandaan nyo to ha. Ang C-reactive protein, yan yung pinaka-confirmatory natin ng inflammation. Whether sa appendicitis, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis po. Yun. So, tumataas po ang C-reactive protein kapag meron tayong mga inflammatory disorders. Yan, inflammatory disorders. Tumataas ito, hindi lamang sa appendicitis. Tumataas din po ito sa ating mga inflammatory disorders like your arthritis. Yan. So again, aside sa ating increased WBC or leukocytosis, there will be also an elevation in the C-reactive protein of your patient. Then, ano pa yung pwede natin gamitin na diagnostic procedures? Okay, others. Number 1, we have your ultrasound, abdominal ultrasound. Pwede rin natin siyang i-abdominal ultrasound. Number 2, we have also your CT scan. Ang CT scan natin, that is your confirmatory. Pag walang CT scan, you can also answer your MRI scan. It is also confirmatory. Mga non-invasive procedures po ito. Again, so what will confirm presence of your appendicitis? It's either CT scan or MRI scan. Yun yung dalawa. So, pwedeng abdominal ultrasound, pwedeng CT scan, pwedeng MRI scan. Yun nga lang, yung MRI, hindi siya ginagamit kapag meron ka mga implant device. Mga metallic plates or mga implant device, hindi siya pwedeng gamitin. Okay, so, mas common na ginagamit yung ating CT scan. Yan. Anong mas common na ginagamit? CT scan ba of the abdomen or MRI scan of the abdomen? Sagot natin, CT scan of the abdomen. Yan. Yung abdominal ultrasound natin, gumagamit po ito ng ultrasonic sound waves. Yan, sound waves. Ano ginagamit po niya? Sound waves to visualize your appendix. Bakit po CT scan ang pinaka-confirmatory natin? Because it will also show presence of abscess or pus. Makikita mo din sa CT scan kung may mga abscess na or mga pus na or perforation na yung kanyang appendix. This would be your best answer in the board exam. Best answer. So this is the illustration of your vermiform, okay, vermiform appendix. Ang itsura po ng ating appendix ay para siyang worm. Worm shape po yung appendix natin. Nakalawit po ito sa ating cecum. Okay? Ileocecal junction, kumbaga, dugtungan ng small at saka large intestines. So, the location of your appendix is at the right lower quadrant or tinatawag natin na ileocecal junction. Nakadikit po siya sa cecum ng large intestine. Pag sinabi natin cecum, cecum is the first part of your large intestine kasi lumabas dati din yan sa board exam. Ano daw yung hindi part ng small intestine? Ang sagot natin cecum. Why? Because cecum is part now of your large intestine. Okay? So anong function po ng ating vermiform appendix? Your vermiform appendix is the reservoir for guts bacteria and immune system role. Yan yung sinasabi natin kanina. It will store your gut bacteria or microorganisms, and it will also respond in case of your infections po. So, immune system role and reservoir role. These are the two functions of your vermiform appendix. Yan, vermiform appendix. So, ayun na. So, kapag sumasakit yung appendix mo, nasa right lower quadrant po siya. So, the location of pain is right lower quadrant. So, tinanong sa exam, nasaan daw yung tenderness kapag meron kang appendicitis? Ang sagot natin, right lower quadrant. Right lower quadrant. How to assess appendicitis? Palpation technique. So what assessment tool should be nurse utilized in assessing appendicitis? The answer is palpation technique. Yun, palpation technique. Okay, so in appendicitis, always remember your contraindicated activities. Number 1, do not apply warm or heat compress in your appendix area. Why? Because it will hasten the ripening and rupture of your appendix. Hihinog yung appendix mo at puputok po siya. So never apply warm or hot bags over your right lower quadrant or even in your abdomen. Bawal maglagay ng warm compress, heat therapies, or hot compress sa inyong abdomen. Because it will what? It will increase the inflammation and it will increase the risk of perforation or rupture of the appendix. Puputok yung appendix mo kapag naglagay ka ng hot or warm compress. Yon. Number 2, avoid deep palpation. Deep palpation can induce rupture. Huwag niyong kakalimutan. Same concept in abdominal aortic aneurysm. Never palpate deeply the abdomen because it will cause rupture. Okay? So never deep palpate your abdomen because it will cause rupturing of the appendix. Next, R. Do not perform rectal exam or enemas. No to colonoscopy, no to enema. Why? Because it can injure and it can cause rupture of the appendix. Ulitin ko, rectal exam, enemas, colonoscopy, bawal po yan. Kasi it can lead to rupturing of the appendix. Diverticulitis, appendicitis, ulcerative colitis, bawal ang warm compress or hot compress sa abdomen. It can lead to perforation kasi. Okay? Next, medications. Hanggat hindi pa po naro-roll out ni physician na appendicitis yung sakit ng patient mo, okay, do not give pain relievers yet. Why? Because pain reliever can mask the rupture symptoms of your appendicitis. Pag binigyan na kasi natin siya ng mga pain relievers or mga NSAID drugs, it will mask. Okay, it will mask the symptoms of your ruptured appendix. Yung biglang sobrang sakit, biglang nawala, that is a sign of ruptured appendix. So wag na wag tayong magbibigay ng mga pain relievers muna hanggat hindi pa nako-confirm na siya ay merong appendicitis. Nakuha po? Kasi NSAIDs can also increase the risk of bleeding. NSAID can relieve the pain which is a primary sign of your appendix. Na kapag nawala yung pain ng appendicitis mo, it will suggest ruptured appendix already. Pag biglang nawala kasi yung pain, nurses, mas matakot ka. A sudden relief in appendicitis is a sign of rupture or perforation. Malinaw po? The sudden relief of the appendicitis pain is a sign of perforation of the appendix or rupture. Kaya bawal po maglagay ng warm compress, bawal magbigay ng NSAIDs or pain relievers kasi pwede niya itong itago yung sintomas ng pagputok ng appendix. So hindi mo na alam kung pumutok na ba siya or nawala lang talaga yung pain niya because of your NSAIDs or pain reliever. Natidaan nyo? So huwag nyo kakalimutan yun ha. Do not give pain relievers, okay, until physician rolled out appendicitis. Yeah, next. I-NPO muna natin yung patient. Bakit i-NPO natin? To rest the stomach. Kasi kapag may pagkain po laman yung tiyan natin, your GI system will at work. And if your GI system is at work, it will cause further inflammation to your appendix. So dapat naka-NPO yung pasyenteng merong appendicitis. Okay, so are we clear with your contraindicated activities in your appendicitis cases po? So watch out nyo lang kung ang patient na may appendicitis is nagkaroon ng perforation. So what are the signs of your perforated appendix? Okay, signs of perforated appendix is your peritonitis manifestation. What are the signs and symptoms of peritonitis? Kanina low grade lang yung fever niya, dito tatas na 100 Fahrenheit above. Pwedeng 100.5, 100.6, 100.7. So pag mas mataas na yung lagnat niya compared kanina, that is a sign also of your ruptured or perforated appendix. Increasing nausea and vomiting. Increasing nausea and vomiting. Ano pa? Increasing pain in the abdomen. Rebound tenderness. Board-like abdomen. Abdominal tenderness, distension, and rigidity. Or a hard abdomen. Again, pag meron kang peritonitis or perforated appendix, titigas yung tiyan mo. So a hard abdomen or rigid abdomen is also a symptom of your peritonitis. Okay, peritonitis. So is it a life-threatening condition? Yes or no? Yes, that is a life-threatening condition. So whether the patient will undergo X-ray or CT scan, pero pinaka-the best po lagi dyan, CT scan natin. Kasi sa CT scan natin, makikita natin kung meron ng perforated appendix or meron na siyang peritonitis. Yun yun. So yun yung mga clinical manifestation ng perforation or peritonitis. Fever, increasing nausea and vomiting, anorexia, rebound tenderness, board-like abdomen, abdominal distension and rigidity. And ano yung wala dyan? Hard abdomen. And ilagay mo na lang dyan yung ating abdominal guarding. Nakita mo si patient, meron siyang abdominal guarding. What is abdominal guarding of the abdomen? Abdominal guarding is the patient is in a sideline position with legs drawn up. Okay? Legs are flexed or drawn up in the abdomen while the patient is in a side-lying position. Yan yung ibig sabihin ng ating peritonitis. Paano daw natin malalaman na meron siyang abdominal guarding due to peritonitis? Lumabas sa board exam yun. The patient position is in a sideline position. Flex legs in the abdomen is a sign of abdominal guarding po. So ang peritonitis po or perforation, pwede po itong mangyari sa mga abdominal surgeries natin. Like for example, nagpa-gastrectomy yung pasyente natin. Pwede rin po siyang magkaroon ng peritonitis doon. Ano pa? Nagkaroon ng ectopic pregnancy. Nagkaroon ng perforation due to trauma. Okay, ulcer, appendix rupture, diverticulum problems, diverticulitis, diverticulosis, ulcerative colitis. If you are attacking GI disorder in your board exam, watch out for rigidity of the abdomen, tenderness, and hard abdomen. Or just a presence of fever po. Pag mataas ang lagnat ni patient na nagkaroon ng GI disorder, that is a sign of peritonitis na. So notify the physician immediately because that is a life-threatening condition. So anong gamot po na ginagawa nila? The treatment of peritonitis is antibiotics, IV fluids po. Antibiotics and IV fluids are the treatment of choice of your peritonitis. So life-threatening po ito. Do not delay your intervention kapag meron ng peritonitis yung pasyente. Always watch out for fever, nausea and vomiting, abdominal guardness or abdominal rigidity. Yan. Abdominal guarding, rigidity, tenderness. So yun yung mga classic sign ng peritonitis. Sagutin na natin dito. Number 2. After a thorough physical examination, laboratory, and diagnostic test, the physician ordered emergency open appendectomy due to a suspected ruptured appendicitis. This is done to prevent which of the following major complication? A. Thrombosis, B. Sepsis or infection, C. Perforation, or D. Bleeding. So what is the major complication of your ruptured appendicitis? Kakasabi lang natin, the major complication is your perforation. And this perforation can lead to what? It can lead to your peritonitis problem. So letter C ang tamang sagot. Major complication is perforation. Yeah. Number 3. Okay, next. The nurse prepares the patient for surgery. The overall goal by the surgical team for the patient is which of the following? A. Relief of pain. B. Prevent fluid volume deficit. 1. Relief of pain. 2. Prevent fluid volume deficit. 3. Reducing anxiety reaction. Or 4. Eliminating infection. So, what is the primary goal of your surgery for appendicitis? Ang sagot natin dyan ay all of this. Okay, so surgery is done in appendicitis to relieve your pain, to prevent fluid volume deficit because of your vomiting and fever, to reduce anxiety reaction, and to eliminate your infection or possibility of infection po. So the correct answer here is letter A. By the way, if we say appendectomy, what is that type of surgery? Is it curative? Is it reconstructive? Ano sagot natin? What is appendectomy surgery? Nurses, lumabas ito last November board exam. What is appendectomy? Appendectomy is a curative surgery. Pag wala kayong nakitang curative sa board exam, you can also answer your ablative surgery. Ablative or curative po siya. Appendectomy is a form of curative or ablative surgery. Parehas lang po ba yun? Yes, parehas lamang po yun. Ayan, so pag tinanong kayo sa board exam, what is the anesthesia used in appendectomy? Anesthesia. Kasi tatanong sila ng mga anesthesia sa surgery eh. Anesthesia in open appendectomy. Pag open appendectomy po ito, ang ginagamit po natin dyan ay general anesthesia. Pag walang general, ang second option natin is regional anesthesia. Especially kapag ito ay matatanda na or mga bata pa, yan. So, regional anesthesia tayo pag walang general anesthesia. Okay. Next, number 4. As a safety alert, which of the following nursing measures should be avoided by the nurse prior to appendectomy? Siyempre, alam natin yan. In every surgical procedure, we must ensure that informed consent is obtained by the doctor already. Yes or no? That is your priority number 1 kapag mga preoperative preparation. Tama? Preoperative measure po. What is our primary role as a nurse? To ensure and to verify informed consent whether it is obtained by the surgeon or not. Yun yung ating priority dyan. Siyempre, ang tanong dito, avoided eh. Ano yung i-avoid mo daw? Ang sagot natin dito ay observe nating by mouth. Tama ba to? Bago i-surgery yung patient na mayroong appendicitis, dapat naka-NPO. Yes. Tama to. Hindi siya dapat i-avoid. Dapat ginagawa mo yan. Okay? Administration of enema. Pwede bang mag-enema sa may appendicitis? Bawal. It will increase the risk of perforation. Sabi natin kanina. Tatanggalin ba natin yung nail polish niya? Yes, in every surgery, it is recommended to remove the nail polish of your patient. Kasi lalagyan natin siya dyan ng pulse oximeter device. So, tama po ito. Tanggalin mo yung kanyang nail polish. Instruct the patient to urinate. Yes, that is to avoid trauma of the bladder during surgery. Tsaka, tandaan nyo to, bago po siya ipasok sa OR, dapat napaihi na natin si patient. So, tama po ito. Bago siya pumasok sa OR, dapat nakaihi na siya. So, letter B is the correct answer. We must avoid enema because enema can precipitate rupture. Yeah, so letter B. Number 5. In wound care management, the nurse is aware not to perform which of the following intervention. Ano daw dyan yung hindi mo gagawin, not to perform? Tandaan nyo, may sugat, may incision wound, tama? So, part of our management here is the teaching of the patient on proper abdominal splinting. Yes or no? Tuturuan din ba natin siya on how to splint the abdomen during coughing? Yes or no? Yes. O wag mo munang sagutan. Yan. Makinig muna kayo. So, again, in every abdominal surgeries, always teach your patient on how to properly splint their abdomen. That is to prevent evisceration and dehiscence of their wounds. Sinabi natin yan kahapon. Okay? So next, for your wound management naman, allow the wound to drain freely. Yes or no? Allow the wound to drain freely. Yes. So in the first day of surgery, what is the expected normal wound drainage? Number 1, we have your sanguinous. Ano yung sanguinous? Blood. Blood po siya. So anong kulay ng sanguinous? Red. Red po ang kulay ng sanguinous. Next, serosanguinous. Wait lang. May nakalimutan ko isa. Sanguinous, then cirrhous. Ano yung cirrhous? Pag sinabi nating cirrhous, that is plasma. Yan. Plasma po ito. Plasma. Yung parang puti na lumalabas. Ang kulay po ng cirrhosis or plasma ay pale yellow ha, hindi yellowish. Pale yellow or thin, watery. Parang mantika na lumalabas. That is your cirrhosis fluid po. Yan. Thin, clear, watery discharge po to. Thin, clear, or watery discharge. So that is your, bigyan ko ng numbers. Number 1, sanguinous is red. Tandaan nyo yan. So, pwedeng bright red po ito. Yan, bright red. Kasi blood yan eh. Bright red. So, anong ibig sabihin kapag meron kang sanguineous discharge? Too much sanguineous discharge is a sign of hemorrhage or bleeding po. Bleeding po yun ha, kapag marami masyado yung kanyang sanguineous discharge. Yan. Next, kapag sinabi po natin serosanguineous, anong kulay po nito? Light pink. Anong laman nito? Ang laman po nito ay serum and blood. Serum and blood. So, ang kulay po nito ay light pink. Normal po ba ito or abnormal? Normal. Normal po ang serosanguineous. Yan. How about number 4? Purulent. Pag nakita mo purulent or mucopurulent, normal pa ba to or abnormal? This is, kapag sinabi natin mucopurulent, that is containing your pus. Pus. Okay, may pus po siya or nana. So, ano bang laman ng nana? Bacteria, dead tissue, at saka WBC. So, yun yung laman ng mucopurulent. Yan, mucopurulent. Mucopurulent, pus, yan, bacteria, dead tissue, WBC. Anong kulay po ng mucopurulent? Lumalabas sa board exam, that is green in color. Green. Kapag walang green, that is your yellow. Pag walang yellow, gray. Okay? Or pus-like. A thick pus-like discharge is a sign of infection. So, ano gagawin natin dito? Refer. Bakit i-refer? That is sign of infection. Sign of infection na po yan. So, these are your 4 types of wound drainage. So, tingnan ninyo lagi ang drainage ng wounds kung normal pa ba or abnormal na. So, lumalabas po yan sa board exam. Maintain acidic or neutral pH. Yes. Para hindi po mabuhay dyan yung mga anaerobic bacteria or microorganisms like tetanus. Acidic or neutral dapat yung pH niya para hindi mabuhay dyan yung tetanus bacteria. Okay, application of cold pack solution. Cold packs. Or letter D, maintain a moist wound environment. Yes. To enhance healing po, dapat meron tayong moist wound environment. Tama po ito. So, alin dito yung not to be performed? Ang sagot natin dyan, application of cold pack solution. Why? Cold will delay healing process. Tandaan niyo po ito. Cold application will constrict the blood vessels in your wounds and it will delay your healing. So, letter C is the correct answer po. Number 6. A client is admitted with diagnosis of acute appendicitis. Wait lang, wala. When assessing the abdomen, the nurse would expect to find rebound tenderness at which location? A, left lower quadrant, B, left upper quadrant, C, right upper quadrant, or D, right lower quadrant. Kakasabi lang natin, ano sagot natin? Right lower quadrant of the abdomen. Tenderness or pain will be located at the right lower quadrant. Letter D. What is the first sign and symptoms of appendicitis? Ang sagot natin ay letter D. Peri-umbilical pain. Yan, peri-umbilical pain. So yung sinabi natin kanina, it will start in your umbilicus and it will radiate to the right lower quadrant of the abdomen. Yeah. Number 8. You are awaiting the white blood cell differential results for a patient who presented with appendicitis. In relation to appendicitis, what happens to the WBC lab values of the patient? A, there will be a decreased eosinophils. B, there will be a decreased leukocytes. C, there will be increased basophils or there will be increased neutrophils. Ang sagot natin, meron siyang leukocytosis, di ba? Pag sinabi natin leukocytosis, there is an increase in WBC. All of these are types of WBC. Eosinophils, basophils, at saka neutrophils po. So lahat po yan ay mga leukocytes or WBC. So tanggalin natin yung letter A kasi decrease po siya. Dapat increase kasi may leukocytosis yung pasyente. Tanggalin yung letter B kasi decrease din. Letter C, increase basophils. Tama din yan, pero ano dapat ang nag-increase kay WBC? The first WBC to increase in case of inflammation and injury is your neutrophils po. That is the first responder. It's the neutrophil. Pag tinanong kayo, what WBC or leukocyte is the first responder in case of inflammation and injury? Ang sagot natin ay neutrophils. Okay? It is the first responder WBC in case of inflammation and injury. Okay, so what is the normal number of your WBC? What is the normal value of WBC? Para malaman mo kung meron siyang increase or decrease. We have your 4,500 to 11,000 per cubic millimeters. Yan, per cubic millimeters po. So that is your normal value of WBC. Or, pag wala po yan, 5,000 to 10,000. So mas safe yun kapag yun yung alam mo. Per cubic millimeters. So yun yun. Again, so that is the normal white blood cell po. Actually, sa ibang libro nga, meron nga tayong nakikita dyan, mga 4,000 to 11,000 eh. 4,000 to 11,000. Yes, pasok po yung 4,500 natin. Okay, so ano po yung normal na neutrophils percentage? Ilan dapat ang neutrophils percentage? Kapag mataas to, ibig sabihin may inflammation ka. Ang neutrophils po ay nasa 40 to 60% dapat. 40 to 60% dapat yung neutrophils mo. Number 9. The nurse is caring for a patient who has had an appendectomy. What is the best position for the nurse to maintain patient in after the surgery? O nagpa-appendectomy daw yung pasyente. So what is the best position for the nurse to maintain in patient in after surgery? After appendectomy, what should be the position po? Ang sagot natin dyan ay semi-Fowler's position. Yan. Semi-Fowler's or head elevation of 30 to 45 degrees will help your patient to reduce abdominal pressure, promote lung expansion, and prevent respiratory complication of your surgery. So yun. It will also prevent your wound dehiscence. That is your semi-Fowler's position. Again, so the benefits of semi-Fowler's to your post-patient appendectomy is to relieve abdominal pressure, promote lung expansion, and to prevent your lung collapse or atelectasis. Okay. Discharge instruction after appendectomy. Number 1, wound care. Wound care. Keep the incision clean and dry. Yan. So, i-clean mo po siya inner to outer of the wound. Inner to outer of the wound. Yan. Next, avoid soaking in tubs or swimming until sutures are removed. Bawal pa muna siya sa tub baths. Bawal mang mag-swimming yung ating pasyente na nagkaroon ng appendicitis or appendectomy. Watch for signs of infection po like redness, swelling, pus, warmth, or foul odor. Yun yun. Redness, swelling, pus, warmth, or foul odor po. Okay, so activity restriction po. Avoid heavy lifting of more than 10 pounds. Avoid strenuous activity or abdominal straining for 2 to 6 weeks. So, pwede ka pong umubo pero kailangan mong mag-abdominal splinting with a pillow. So, gradual return to normal activities. Walk daily to promote your thrombosis or clot problems. So, pain management after surgery. Take prescribed pain medication before activities po. Use pillow to splint the abdomen when coughing or moving to prevent dehiscence of your wounds. Yan. Next, bowel function. Resume normal diet slowly. Start with light, low-fat meals. Yan. Resume normal diet slowly. Start with light, low-fat meals. Then drink plenty of fluids. Take your laxative or stool softeners to prevent constipation. Kasi kapag ikaw po'y naka-pain reliever ng opioids, that is number 1 side effect of opioids also. Yung mga morphine natin or mga opioid drugs natin, it will also lead to constipation. So, adjuvant treatment po natin or therapy natin kapag naka-opioid drugs ka for your pain relief, dapat mag-take ka din ng laxatives or stool softeners. Why? because opioid drugs can cause constipation. Ano bang opioids? Opioids are analgesic drugs, pain reliever drugs, mga narcotic pain reliever drugs like morphine. Pag naka-morphine ka or opioids ka, do not forget to ask your physician to make a prescription also of stool softener or laxative kasi nakaka-cause po yan ng constipation. Yan. Next, notify your healthcare provider if any of the following is present after surgery. Signs of peritonitis. Again, signs of peritonitis. So, ano yung mga signs of peritonitis? Number 1, fever. Fever. Ano pa? Severe abdominal pain that worsens. Ano pa? Persistent nausea or vomiting. Ano pa? Walang abdominal gas passing. Okay? No abdominal gas passing is a sign also of your peritonitis. And signs of wound infection. So, redness, swelling, and discharges, it should be also reported to the physician. So, that is your number 5. Notify the healthcare provider if signs of infection and perforation are present after your surgery. That is number 5.